mention this, I would just like to emphasize the importance of speaking the German language, as it is inevitably part of your everyday life while staying in Germany. So aside from work, you will also have to do what we refer to as adulting, or in other words, running personal obligatory errands, such as going to government offices to process legal documents, which are all vital to your stay here. So in your first 2 to 4 years in Deutschland, the government office that you will be visiting most frequently would be the Ausländerbehörde, or the immigration office. And these three are the usual reasons for it. So aside from the immigration office, there's also the city hall, where you need to register your address and from where you can get a certificate of good conduct if ever you will need it. And you may come across some people who do not speak English, so especially in some states. So um, where you need to speak in German in supermarkets, banks, health insurance office, restaurants, and malls. So this is probably one of the biggest struggles of every Filipino nurses who are working here. I even heard that a few people moved to UK because of the language barrier they experienced. Nearly everyone who, when they first came to Germany, have struggled with the language. But having passed the B2 exam and now working here, we are expected to speak the language. And not just speak it, but also to continually learn it. So just be diligent in learning and practicing every day. And you might even find yourself making some German friends. Second is to build new friendships. So it's a new country, new environment, new people. It is likely that your classmates in German class will be assigned to different states. So it's time to make new friends. To whom? To the nurses who were already here before you, to your new housemates or your roommates, and also to your neighbors, which is important to have a peaceful living environment. So what else? You can also look for groups to join within your interest or be active in the Filipino community. In every state, there is probably an existing Filipino community. For example, in Frankfurt, Munich, Stuttgart, and even here in Berlin. Usually, the people there, they are the ones staying in Deutschland for so many years because they got married here, they had children, and even grandchildren. So these people who have been living here for more than 20 years or so, they could help you in the future and even can give you advices na you won't even hear from this online session. Because sila yung veterans dito pagdating sa ganito. Like, literally life in Germany, kabisado nila yan. So make friends with them. And you'll never know, you might find a second family in them. Because personally, I found my second family simply by attending Mass here in Berlin. We have a Filipino church community, and that's how I met the people, the person who invited me to join the Singles for Christ, or SFC. So when I met them, I was really thankful, not only because they helped me grow closer to God, but also because they became my family. So when I met these girls, who are also part of the Singles for Christ, I instantly had sisters. Not only that, I also now have a lot of titos and titas, as you can see on the photos below. And they love parties, they love cooking, they love eating together. And that's what you will be looking for when you are in a foreign land. That sense of being home, that being welcome, that feeling of having a family. Although there are a lot of groups din naman, it does not need to be a religious group. You can try to find a group where people share common interests like biking, sports, reading, and hiking. Just find ways to meet people. There are a lot of opportunities for that, as well as social apps like Meetup and Facebook for that purpose. And by the way, just in case some of you wants to join my Singles for Christ family, feel free to send me a private message. We also have a CFC branch in Essen, so you are always welcome to join. We won't let you be alone in this journey. Then, after making friends and joining groups, it is also very prudent to widen your contacts. And not just lang yung basta-bastang contacts. What I mean here is people who you strongly trust na in case of emergency, you know that you can call them. Do not limit your contacts to just your roommates or your housemates because if they are on duty, then they won't be able to help you. So make strong bonds with, I would say, at least 3 to 5 people, and do not limit your circle to the nursing community. It's always nice to be friends with people from other professions or other countries because you will be learning a lot about their culture. The third one, um, it may be a little challenging for some, especially during winter, but it's very important to monitor, and that is to maintain a strong core. By core, I am pertaining to your mental and your emotional health or mental or emotional strength. Let's go to your mental strength first. Filipinos are culturally spiritual or religious. So usually when you feel exhausted and you feel like giving up, before you do retail therapy, the first thing you should actually do is to pray. And trust me on this, it really helps. Whenever you feel like giving up and flying back to the Philippines, just find a spot, kneel or sit, and then cry. There is nothing wrong in crying, and then let it all out through a prayer. After that, you'll feel an instant relief kasi nalabas mo na sama ng loob mo eh. And then get back up and continue fighting. Laban lang ng laban, okay? Also, try to meditate or just simply spend some time alone. And when you do this, please get off social media. Facebook triggers a lot of mental stir-ups, or even Instagram, because people show only the good stuff in their lives. So what happens is that you start comparing your life from their lives, which is really not healthy. Some studies show already have been proven that spending too much time on social media may or can cause depression or other mental health problems. And depression is real, mind you. This is something serious. This is not something that we can ignore. A lot of people, not just OFWs here, are experiencing this. Also, other expats, especially during winter. Let me tell you a short story about this. I have a former colleague who I was with together in German class, flew together to Germany together, and lived in a shared apartment in Germany. A few months after I moved to Berlin, I heard news about her getting arrested by the police because she was acting in a disturbing manner. We knew then that she was having a mental issue, thinking it was depression. But then, after a few days or weeks, I heard news again that she was clinically diagnosed now with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. And then she was admitted to a psychiatric facility here in Germany. It was really alarming for me to hear and realize that mental and psychosocial conditions can manifest in anyone. So never ignore the signs. If ever you feel mentally exhausted, talk to someone or go to your doctor. Tell her you need a break. I've done this myself actually. I went to my doctor and I literally just told her, ich brauche eine Pause. And then she gave me a week off. How or why? Because they take mental health here seriously. So do not hesitate to ask for a break. Also, psychiatric therapy sessions here are covered by your insurance. I have a friend, he had free psychiatric therapy sessions since it was covered by his Krankenkasse. And then, but maybe not all, but there are a few health insurance companies that cover that, so you better check yours. Of course, emotional strength. It will be very tough for those who have balat sibuyas kung tawagin natin sa Tagalog. Germans are known to be very direct. They will straightforwardly tell you if you did something wrong or you did something that they did not like. But don't take it negatively. Don't let it linger in your head overnight and then lose sleep because of it. Because tomorrow, pag nakita mo ulit yung workmate mo na nanita sa'yo kahapon, nakalimutan niya na yun. Naka-move on na siya. Ikaw na lang yung hindi nakaka-move on. So, take it as a constructive criticism. Kahit hindi maganda yung pagkaka-deliver nila, just find ways to take it positively and then learn from it. And to those who experience racism or xenophobic acts, just be the bigger person and still show kindness. Okay? And also, of course, treat yourself, feed your heart, not just your tummy. Go shopping, drink your bubble tea, or whatever that makes you happy. Okay? And never forget to call your family back home to combat homesickness. Because wala nang ibang forever ready to listen and be there for you other than your loved ones at home in the Philippines. So call them whenever you have time. Again, guys, these two are very important, mental and emotional health. Never ever ignore these because you cannot function properly if either of these two is unstable. We are nurses, we deal with human lives, so if we are not focused at work, it may result to a bigger problem. So let's not risk that. Take care of yourselves first so that you can take care of your family back home, especially to the breadwinners. So I leave it there and then let's move on to the next very practical tip na hindi ko na sana i-discuss because this is the most basic of the basics. Super basic siya to the point na nakakalimutan or hindi na iniintindi and thus leading to conflicts among housemates. Guys, if you're new here, there's a 95 to 97% chance that you will be living in a shared apartment. So, makisama. Pakikisama is the key. So, if you know that the other one is from night shift or from night duty, then keep it down. Please don't be insensitive. Let the person get proper sleep. Also, yung mga household chores, I know a few na nagkaaway-away because of this, and it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. So I don't want to discuss this in a very detailed manner. We are all adults here. Know your responsibilities. Also, nurses, be kind to your body. Do not resort to McDonald's just because you do not know how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, make a salad, put on some dressing, you'll save your money, and you will save your body. We are nurses, you know what I mean on this, okay? So I will not explain this further. And of course, last but definitely not the least, is to take advantage of your Schengen privileges. There are 26 countries and over 100 cities that you can enter hassle-free, basta valid yung residence permit mo. You've been working hard, you deserve a good treat to yourself, so balance your work life and your social life. It doesn't need to be a very extravagant vacation naman, just a vacation under your budget. So set a budget, book a flight, and enjoy your life in Germany. Okay, so that will be the end of my presentation. But first, let me just take the opportunity to thank the nurses who contributed to this topic. Um, so few of them are working here in Berlin longer than I am, and they generously gave me some of the advices that I just presented to you now. So let me just give these nurses the credit. And that would be it po. Thank you for watching and for listening.